Hello everyone, my name is Chunyu. Today I'm talking about a conflict, a story about borrowing money that happened to me and my friend. When I was in college, my friend always borrowed money from me, although it's a small amount of money, but she never paid me back. For example, once we passed a broad store, she said she wanted to buy a bread, but she didn't bring money, and I lent to her. Once, when we saw an old man packaging on the street, she felt pitiful and borrowed $2 from me to give him. Such things often happen, although it's a very little money, but many times it becomes a lot of money. I have been struggling for a long time. Should I ask her for money? Finally, I once said, when did you borrow money back to me? She said, we are friends. Don't care about a little of money. I will return it to you later. So I'm very angry. Our relationship is not immediately as before. I will not borrow her money anymore. Through this story, I also understand more prince, uh, principle and mass of communication. The relevant communication principle in my story is communication is uh, inventable. The definition, according to the Euler survival guide, is you cannot communicate idea. All behavior has a symbolic uh, potential and can be interpreted by others, whether we want them to interpret our communication or not. For example, from my story, the illustrate is principle is we need to communicate more with other because not all of our idea can be understood by others. My friend often borrow money from me. I thought she would take the initiative to pay me back, but she did. So I want to communicate with her to remind her. There are many concepts in the textbook that is illustrate my example. The first communication concept is called accommodating. And the definition, according to the Manchester Library Publishing 2019, is accommodating conflict, management style, indirect, a low concern for self and high concern for other, and is often viewed as passive and submissive, passive and submissive, that sometimes conflicts with or all obliges other without providing personal input. An example from my story is illustrate this concept is in the beginning, I often lent money to my friend, but because of my accommodating, my friend borrowed money from me even more. Generally speaking, we are able to accommodate because we are generous, submissive, but accommodation is not a good way to maintain friendship. We should also properly express our thought with our friend, because if recently accept the mistake of my friend, the mistake will happen forever. The second communication concept is avoiding. The definition, according to the Manchester Library Publishing 2019 is avoiding the style of conflict management of indicate a low concern for self and a low concern for others, and not direct communication about the conflict take place. For example, from my story, the illustrate is concept is because I want to avoid concept. So I have been struggling for a long time. Should I ask her for money? There was no real comforting between me and my friend. Although she borrowed money from me but because I want to maintain our friendship, I was avoiding to comfortably. Based on my experience, I can use a communication concept to ethical impulsion to improve my communication, to help improve my interpersonal relationships. Once communication concept I could use to improve my communication would be emotion sharing. The definition, according to the user of Manchester Library publishing 2019, involves communication is the circle, is the circumstance, through thought and feeling, a surrounding an emotion event. I choose this as a concept based on my experience because, in fact, the reason for the conflict between me and my friend is also because we lack communication. I should tell her my thought earlier instead of waiting until the conflict bond. I can use the communication to share emotion more and improve my communication. The definition according to the Euler Survival Gas 2020 is integrating many motives of our wealth for others by holding ourselves accountable to the same standards that we hold others and keeping promise that we make to others. I choose this explosion based on my story because my friend often borrowed money from me, although it's a small amount of money, but she never paid me back. The principle of the good faith I can use is the implication to improve my interperson relationships by indirectly means a model of value for others by holding ourselves accountable, the same standards that we hold others and keeping promise that we make to others. Okay, family, I will repeat my sis. My friend often borrowed money from me, although it's a small amount of money, but she never paid me back. I was angry. Our relationship is not immediate as before. I will not borrow her money anymore. Through this lecture and study, I have learned many methods of communication. I can use this principle and method for my future communication. Okay, thank you.
All right, good job. All right, is there anyone else? Let me get out of this. Oh, let me stop the recording.